Hello, brains. Okay, so this is something I've been thinking about a lot lately, and I'm actually kind of upset about. As someone with ADHD, there is a lot you could do in terms of planning and prep in advance that would make your day go more smoothly. Putting every single thing on your calendar, including all of the details of what you need to do and when. How much of that is actually realistic for someone with ADHD? And how much of it is worth it? My life is a little bit chaotic right now. I'm trying to write a book. I'm trying to launch a podcast. My daughter is also sick from starting daycare a couple months ago, and she has been sick on and off for like the past 5 weeks. I actually have very little time to record this video before she comes home because dad's driving her around while she's taking a nap in the car. This is where we're at. There's a bit of a survival mode situation going on here. And so it's really easy for me personally to be like, well, I don't have time to plan. I don't have time to prep, but then I pay the price for it. And this is the truth of things. If we don't plan in advance, if we don't do any prep, we pay for it. There is a cost to that. As people with ADHD, we can easily fall to one extreme or the other. Planning and prepping is hard for us. And so we don't do it. But also sometimes we over prepare, we over plan, and we're spending an hour of planning to save ourselves 10 minutes of trouble the next day. So first of all, why is planning and prepping so much harder for people with ADHD? I think there's a few reasons. We may not have the time or energy to think ahead, to think about the future, because we are still putting out fires from yesterday's not planning ahead or thinking about the future. But also shorter time horizons are part of it, right? It's really hard for us to feel like future us is real or future time is real. We kind of exist in a state of now or not now. If it's not now, it doesn't exist. So planning ahead next week, next month, it doesn't feel real. Also, I think there is an element of I'm going to plan for next month, but then in the next week and a half, things have shifted so much for me that now all of that planning isn't worth it. And for a while, and you can see my videos where I talk about this, I was really resistant to using a calendar at all because like I would put things on the calendar and I would immediately be off schedule. Like the plan would fall apart immediately. So it's like, what's the point? So part of it is time blindness. I just didn't have a realistic sense of how long things actually took. So the planning that I was doing wasn't really effective. It wasn't realistic is maybe a better way of putting it because I didn't have an accurate sense of how long things should take me. So it would immediately fall apart. Prioritizing can be really difficult for ADHD brains. Just the mental and cognitive energy that goes into it, working memory challenges are a part of it, like holding information in your head while you work with it. We have an episode about what working memory is here. Even remembering what it is that I'm trying to do as I'm trying to get it on the calendar or as I'm trying to like do the calculations of like, should I do this before this? Or what order should I do things in? Or when do I need to do things? Or like, what is it that I even need to do? I'm holding a lot in my head. That's anxiety inducing. It's stressful. And that's the other thing, right? Like sometimes the things we're planning for like are stressful and we don't want to think about them. That's not even to get into like resources, right? Like part of prepping is having the resources to do it. Planning ahead for something might mean purchasing supplies for it. And we don't necessarily have that money because, I don't know, impulse spending or we're just not making a lot of money in the first place. Difficulty managing money is part of our challenges as well. So the big thing that I've realized lately is that the goal is not more planning. It's not like more planning, more better. Because just like under planning and under preparing has a cost, preparing has a cost, planning has a cost. It costs time. It costs mental energy. It costs emotional energy sometimes. And so I think the key for those with ADHD, definitely for me, is to make sure that the planning and prep that you're doing is worth the cost. But one of the things that I realized is really important in planning and prepping effectively is knowing what it is you're even planning and prepping for. Because those with ADHD don't just struggle to plan and prep. Sometimes we don't even know what's happening next week or next month. So having some sort of way of knowing what you're doing, whether that's a list, whether that's a calendar, for my partner and I, that is the Skylight calendar. So this is the Skylight. This is what my partner and I use because it's a wonderful digital family hub. We have a very neurodivergent household. I have ADHD. My partner has ADHD. We don't know yet with my child, but she is currently a toddler. So it is really helpful to have a shared family hub, specifically a digital family hub, because it's something that it's really easy to use from anywhere. We can put something in the app and it shows up here. I can put something on my Google Calendar. It shows up here. This stays updated, which is really, really nice. And it also makes it so that if I don't want to bother my partner and tell him things when he's in the middle of something, it doesn't mean that it doesn't get communicated because he can look at the calendar and see what's up. Right now in our household, a lot of stuff is getting moved around a lot. Our schedule is kind of all over the place. I don't think it would actually work for us right now to have a calendar on a wall. I'll be honest. There would be a lot of whiteout involved. My partner and I both have a habit of not telling each other things that are happening. And then we're like, wait, what? We're going where today? The what? And so it's really helpful to be able to put it on the calendar, have it show up on the Digital Family Hub, and then we know what's going on so we can actually plan for it. You can now even swipe from the home screen, which is super cool. Super, super easy to see what's going on. You can see what your tasks are, what your partner's tasks are, what kids' tasks are. They can see what their tasks are. Doesn't mean that they will do it. Right now, my daughter is sick, so she is not shy about telling me that she is too sick to do her chores and mama should do them, which, okay, fine.
I did not do this one. I did not do that one.
Are you going to feed Chloe or are you too sick?
Sick. You can't do it.
If you'd like to try out the Skylight calendar, it is available globally. And if you live in the US, I also have a discount code for you. It is $30 off for either the 15-inch calendar or the 27-inch calendar max if you use my code JessicaHowTo30. And they're longtime sponsors of this channel. So by supporting them, you're also supporting us. Okay, so now that we know what we're planning for, how do we plan? How do we plan in a way that's ADHD friendly and actually worth it? So what I think is key when it comes to planning and prepping with ADHD in terms of how much of it we should be doing is just enough that it's making our life easier overall. And there are 3 ways that I think that we can do that. So one is focus your planning and prep on things that will reduce friction. 2, make the planning and prep easier, because if it's easier, then it's not going to cost you as much. It will be more worth it. And 3, see if there are ways that you can minimize or even eliminate the need for planning and prep, because as I have learned, that is also possible. So let's talk about number 1, focus on planning and prep that reduces friction. Where do you get stuck? What repeatedly causes you frustration? What repeatedly makes you late? What am I repeatedly not doing because it's not prepared in advance? Okay, I'm not cooking because I don't have any idea what to cook. I don't have things in the house that I want to cook. And so like I'm spending way too much money on DoorDash, right? That's a place where it might make sense to reduce friction. But also like what makes your day disproportionately difficult? For my partner, it's if he hasn't eaten. He knows if he comes home from work and is thrown right into like a childcare situation, which might happen because my kid wants to see him, he gets cranky because he hasn't eaten since lunch, right? So like keeping snacks at his desk at work, like that's an amount of prep that can make a big difference. So you're kind of looking for the things that are like disproportionately helpful, where the amount of planning and prep that you have to do is really small compared to the results that you're going to get from that. If you are finding yourself staring at a dresser for an hour in the morning trying to figure out what to wear, then yeah, like picking out your clothes the night before might be really helpful. Laying out your clothes the night before is something that's often recommended to people with ADHD. Having clean bottles. The amount of friction that happens if I have to wash a bottle right at the moment that my daughter needs a bottle is a lot. It's a lot. And so the amount of time that it would take, or the amount of prep it would take for me to wash a bottle ahead of time, is well worth it. All right, so strategy number 2, make the prep itself easier. So part of that is not needing to prepare for the entire process. You might not be able to do the full meal planning thing, but can you, when you're at the store, like buy pre-chopped veggies and make it so that you've got like staples on hand that include things that you know how to make easily. One of the things that I've started doing, going back to bottles being really necessary, doing the dishes like right after my kid goes to bed is not really possible for me. I am exhausted, right? But like it is disproportionately difficult for me to wash the bottles the next day. So a good friend told me about the fact that you can put dishes on a delay. As soon as my kid's down for the night, I take the bottles and I stick them right in the dishwasher. I put the soap in, I put it on a 3-hour delay. And then that way my partner's job is dishes, right? If he's able to get to the dishes that night, great. But if not, those bottles are still run. I didn't have to do all the dishes, but I did get to easily do the thing that is going to make a big difference for me in terms of being prepped for tomorrow. Prepping while you're already there. So like if I have to go drive to the gas station to put gas in my car, that's a whole thing. If my tank is less than half full, then I will stop and get gas if I am not running late and if I drive past a gas station. I don't care even what gas station it is. I'm like, I'm here. It's so much easier for me to do it while I'm here, while I'm on the right side of the street. It's easier for me to do it now than if I wait until it is on empty and then I have to go out of my way to find a gas station. This is another big thing. So like batching, one of the things that I'm told all the time as a content creator is like, batch your content. But for me, creating multiple pieces of content at the same time is really difficult. It's actually, I think, harder than trying to do them separately because I'm just holding way too much information in my head. So for me, that doesn't work. But batch season planning is something we've started doing 3 months at a time. We go, okay, what kind of content are people asking for? Like, what kind of content do we want to make? What do we think would be helpful? What do we want to focus on? We look back at like how the last season went and like, what did we feel really good about? What did we feel really proud of? What can we do this time? And that does work because now I don't have to like figure out from scratch like a video idea every single time I want to make a video, but I can create one video at a time. So batch, but batch where it makes sense, right? You can also lower the standard. Like you can be prepared without being like 100% prepared. Yes, it's super helpful if you have an event in your calendar with all of the details, but it is so much better to have the event in your calendar with none of the details than to not have it in your calendar at all. I have learned by missing things repeatedly. So lowering the standard is another way to make it easier for you to plan and prep. And also using systems or templates, right? Planning a video if we have no templates at all, which we have done in the past, is so much harder than if we're like, oh, okay, what kind of video is this? Oh, it's this kind of video. These are the elements in this kind of video. This is what we're going to need. Like it's a lot easier to plan if you have a system or if you're using a template, then you're trying to figure it out from scratch. Doing it at a time that works for you. Maybe laying out your clothes the night before is not doable for you because you're exhausted at the end of a work day during the week. But can you do it on Sundays? Like, can you hang up or choose clothes for the entire week on a Sunday when you do have that time, when you do have that energy? And then putting it on repeat. One of the things that I think I probably will do at some point is meal plan and then just use that same meal plan the next week and the next week and the next week until I'm bored of it, right? Like making it so that you plan once and then you don't have to do it again the next week. You don't have to do it again the next week. So strategy 3 is reduce or eliminate the need for prep in the first place. If you have defaults, you don't need to plan what you're going to wear if you have a uniform, and you don't need to work at McDonald's to have a uniform. You can have a work uniform like Steve Jobs had a turtleneck every day. For me, my workout uniform, it doesn't matter if I'm doing yoga. It doesn't matter what I'm doing for a workout, like yoga pants, like sports bra and a shirt. Like that's my uniform, right? That eliminates the need for a whole lot of planning and prep. When I was going through like one of my toughest, darkest times, going through like a really brutal divorce, I had a default lunch. I ate the exact same lunch every day. Was it the most exciting thing in the world? No, but it was like fine. And it was a default. It was something that I didn't have to think about because my brain was like so slowed down and focused on processing all of the change, all of the everything else, all of the grief, the loss, the anxiety, all of that. So like having that default was really helpful. Outsourcing. I don't need to plan or prep for how I'm going to clean my house if I have housekeepers. That's not something that's currently accessible to me, just financially. And also like it really stresses my partner out to have housekeepers come and move things. But if and when that's a possibility for me, again, like I would totally do that. That's not cheating. It's not a luxury for a lot of people with ADHD. It's an accommodation. It's something that makes your life doable. I have a producer that does a lot of the planning and prepping. I don't have to think about what equipment needs to be brought over to my house or like what needs to be charged or even like when do we need to shoot, because I have a producer that handles that. And if you can't outsource it, like having somebody do it with you can be a way to minimize the weight of it too. You don't have to do this stuff alone. Talking through your day with a partner, with a friend, is often a lot easier than doing it on your own. Another one is duplicates. I'm a huge fan of this right now. Actually, our chief science officer, Dr. Patrick LeCount, has a really good system for this where when he runs out of something, he goes to restock it, not from running to the store, but from his backup stock. So like he's got a backup stock for things that he runs through quickly, like toothpaste or whatever. And the rule is as soon as it comes out of the backup stock, like the next grocery trip restocks the backup stock. That reduces the amount of times that you need to run out. Having extras of things can be really helpful a lot of the time. If you know that you need supplies at work and at home, like have a copy at each place if you can, because then you don't have to remember to bring it home. If I'm going to record something on my phone, like I've got a tripod stand for my phone at work and also one at home because I don't know if I'm going to be filming here or there. There are a lot of ways in which we can be prepared for what we need to be prepared for without having to do any extra work. And isn't that kind of the best planning and prep for ADHD? Really, like not having to? I think so. I don't know. Let me know what you think. So again, the key, I think, to planning and prep is to make sure that it is worth the cost of doing it. And the 3 ways of doing that is if you don't even have to do the planning and prep, great, don't. If you do, find ways to make it easier. And then when you do planning and prep, focus on the things that are going to reduce friction. There are probably lots more ways to make sure that the planning and prep that you're doing is actually worth the cost of doing it when you have ADHD. If you know of any, please put that in the comments below. If there's anything that I missed, maybe we'll do another video about it. This is something I'm personally really determined to figure out because I think that we as a community deserve better. I think you deserve better than to be told you should have planned better. So I think it's important that we make sure that the planning that we are doing is worth it, that the energy and time and expense that we're putting into planning in advance is paying off for us. I think that matters a whole lot more than just doing more. I hope this video is helpful for you. Let me know in the comments below what you think. I want to keep the conversation going, especially because I'm writing a book about navigating big transitions with an ADHD brain right now. And I think that planning and prep is something that's like such a big topic there. Thank you to my brain advocates and all our Patreon brains for supporting the work that we do on this channel. I will say in our last season planning, we set out a really big goal of making sure that this channel includes the best ADHD education on the internet. It is your support that is going to allow us to fulfill that dream. Thank you again. Like, subscribe, click all the things, and I will see you next video. I have a sick toddler to get back to. Bye, brains.